Sup y'all, it's me, it's your boy Asmongold, and today I want to give you guys my advice on what I think you should buy and what I think you should sell going into Legion. Now, obviously this is all speculation, and I can't predict the future. I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't guarantee that this is what's going to work, but based on my previous experience right before expansions and going into them, this is what I think is going to work, and at least this is what I'm betting on. So anyway, if there's anything that I don't cover in this video that you're curious about, Asmongold, should I sell this or should I hold on to it? Go ahead and let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to try and answer what your question is. But as a general rule, anything that's outside of Warlords of Draenor content, I don't really know if it's going to go up in price or not, or down in price for that matter, and so I can't really say one way or another, but I'm going to be focusing mostly on Warlords of Draenor items in this video. So anyway, the first one is pretty much anything that has to do with the Draenor Pathfinder achievement. I don't think anybody's really going to care about that whenever Legion comes out, and I think the most noticeable or notable item about that is the Medallion of the Legion. Now, this drops from a number of different places, and while the supply of it will go down significantly whenever Legion comes out, so will also the demand. There will be really no reason for people to get the Draenor Pathfinder flying achievement whenever Legion is out, because there's just no reason really to go back there, and on top of that, you can reach everything and get everywhere without the flying mount, and anybody that probably wants to get that kind of stuff probably already has it, if that makes sense. Now, next thing is going to be selling all of the BOE items that you have. Now, I'm going to be focusing mostly on the raid drop BOE items, and so, like those stupid gloves that you get from the butcher in High Mall every other week from the High Mall box, like that kind of stuff, nobody really wants that, okay? Nobody wants that even now, and they're probably going to want that even less in Legion. Now, there will be an initial, kind of surge in people wanting this stuff, and this goes for any of the BOE items, is there's going to be a really, really big surge as soon as the Legion pre-patch comes out, and the reason for that is that's whenever the wardrobe is going to be unlocked, and people are going to want to buy as many different appearance items as possible, so you might want to hold on to it until then, but at that point you want to sell as many of them as possible, because whenever Legion comes out and everybody's level 110, it doesn't matter. Like 725 mythic gear right now isn't going to make any bit of a fucking difference. It's just going to be basically transmog gear, and so if you have that stuff and you want to sell it at a high price right now, I would recommend doing it right now before because the expansion isn't like really right around the corner, unfortunately, but so a lot of people are still in WOD mode. They're still like, okay, I want to get my Moose, I want to get my Archimon mount. A lot of people probably quit, but anyway, there are a lot of people who just aren't really thinking forward towards the expansion yet, at least, and so you want to sell it now before the actual before there's kind of like a run and like everybody's trying to undercut each other and sell it before the prices just bottom out. So I would say definitely sell all BOE items that you have probably about whenever the Legion pre-patch comes out. The value for them will probably go up after the patch comes out, so you want to wait until then. Now, there is an exception. Some of the probably like the mythic gear, like the mythic BRF boots that you can get for warriors, and even the High Mall gloves for paladins, depending on how I don't know, I always thought the set was stupid, but I'm sure some people do want it. You could hold on to those, but anything outside of the mythic BOEs, I definitely would not hold on to. The reason that you want to hold on to the mythic BOEs is to sell them later on for transmog, because I think if anything is going to retain its value, it's going to be that. Now, the next thing, obviously, and I think everybody has like a ton of this shit, is the herbs and the ore that you get from your garrison. Now, there's going to be very, very minimal reasons to actually go into your garrison whenever Legion comes out, so obviously that's going to, I guess, reduce a lot of the supply of these items, but at the same time, there's going to be no real reason to need to use them. So I don't really think that, they're going to really hold any sort of value whatsoever, especially when they're being given out for free, just like they are now. So they'll probably go down in price. I would recommend selling them now or turning them into something and then selling that item. Just because there's so much ore, and obviously, as I said before, there will be less reasons to go in your garrison. They are taking out the treasure finder trait, and so that's like a big reason why people sit in their garrisons, and without that, they probably won't do it as much, but I would still recommend selling all of the ore and selling all of the herbs right now. And even if the value does stay pretty much steady going into Legion, you're probably not going to be able to sell as many of them, I guess, like per day or per hour or per week or whatever you want to put in it. I guess like whatever time frame you want to really fucking bird. Whatever time frame you really want to use. Now, the next thing is that the crafting system in Legion is going to be very different than the one in Warlords of Draenor. There's going to be different levels of crafting and all kinds of complicated stuff. So I do think that potions and flasks will hold value for probably a couple of weeks into Legion, but after that, they probably won't be worth anything at all. So I would say if you want to hold on to those, you could do it at your own risk, but I don't really see the price going up because people are going to have a lot of residual stuff going into Warlords of Draenor, or sorry, going into Legion, and so I would say probably sell that as well. Now, the next thing obviously is going to be the BOE crafting materials, like anything that you can sell with the BOE, I guess like with the primal spirits and the true steel bars or any of that. Is it true steel? I'm not really sure what even the name of it is, but pretty much all of the blacksmithing stuff that you can make, like the crafting gear, like the shoulders, the helmet, and everything like that. Again, there's going to be a rush on that to try and buy it for transmog because some people will want to make the sets whenever the Legion pre-patch comes out. But really, I mean, there's going to be no reason for anybody to buy like 675 gear, right? And so you want to sell all of your upgrade tokens, especially the upgrade tokens, because most people probably aren't going to be using that stuff. There's going to be a very, very small market, and I think the amount of things that are going to be they're going to be staying in the market is still going to be larger than the amount of people that are in the market, which is going to make the prices lower and lower and lower, especially compared to now. So I would recommend selling all of the crafting thing or all of the crafted gear that you have now, again, because people are still trying to pick that shit up to get into Hellfire Citadel to maybe get their moves, get an achievement, get the feat of strength, something like that. And so you want to get in there right now and make sure that you're able to sell that stuff to those people, because once Legion comes out, that stuff is going to be worthless. Like, nobody's really going to care about 675, like 715 gear at that point, even, unless it's transmog. That's basically the only reason that you'd want to do it. Now, I also think that there's going to be a lot of gold sinks in Legion. That's just kind of what I'm assuming. And even if there isn't, there's going to be less gold being put into the economy in Legion than there is gold being put into the economy now in Warlords of Draenor. And the reason for that is they're taking out a lot of the Garrison gold rewards, or pretty much all of them actually. They're getting rid of the entire treasure finder trait, and also the shipyard missions will also not give gold as well. So there's a big reason for me to think that probably the comparative value of gold is going to increase. And if you hold on to, like, I'm going to be holding on to pretty much all of my gold right now. And so if you're trying to buy like a TCG mount, like Tabard of the Lightbringer, some kind of like high dollar item that's worth a lot of gold right now, I would say hold off on it and wait until Legion comes out. And after it's been out for a couple of months, the prices of things will probably go down. And the reason for that is because the amount of gold in the economy is going to shrink, because there's not as much gold being put into the economy as being taken out. And there's probably also going to be other gold sinks in Legion that are going to happen. I don't really know what those are yet, but I would be very amazed if none of that stuff happened. And especially right at the beginning, all of the people who are like very serious about the game are going to be buying those, and so that's going to make the I guess like the comparative value of gold higher, if that makes sense. Now, anyway, the last thing I do want to talk to you guys about is the pet battle rewards. Now, there's going to be very little reason, as I said before, to go back to your garrison. So anything that you buy with those pet charms, anything like from that pet trainer or whatever, I forgot her name, the daily one that you can sometimes have in your garrison one way or another, that like you get the bag, and sometimes that bag I think can have pets in it. And any sort of a pet that you get from doing pet battles in Warlords of Draenor, the content, especially in your garrison, I don't really think is going to be very valuable going into Legion. Sorry, not very valuable. Any sort of a pet that you buy from the garrison, like from the pet charm vendor or anything like that, I think is going to go up in price in Legion. And the reason for that is because really not a lot of people are going to be going back to their garrison, and I think that just at that point, people aren't really going to be thinking about that stuff. They're not going to be farming out those pet charms on every character like they are now. So I would say definitely hold on to that stuff and wait until Legion comes out. And I'm assuming, and this is what I'm doing, as I said before, like I'm not just telling you guys what to do. I'm doing this to myself. This is what I'm doing, and I'm going to be holding on to all of those different pets and everything like that, like the Weebomination and all. I'm going to be holding on to that until after Legion is out for a while, and I do think that they will go up in price. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much my advice on what I think you should buy and what I think you should sell going into Legion. Mostly sell all kinds of crafting materials, and unless something takes a very, very long time to do, and it's like kind of just basically something that people get just by playing Warlords of Draenor right now, a lot like the pet battle rewards. That, some people do that. Obviously not a lot of people do it, but some people do. those types of rewards I think are going to go up in value, and more difficult and harder to find monsters like the High Mole rares and the Dark Portal rares. I think that they're what you get from them is going to probably go down, because there's not really a lot of people who can farm it now, and people can go back and farm it later on, and they also can get the pets out of it. But of course, as I said before, and as I say with all this stuff, this is only speculation. I cannot predict the future, but this is what I think is going to work. This is what makes sense to me. And obviously, if something different and new and weird comes out in Legion, I'll have to update this video and do another one and kind of go over more stuff. But until then, I hope this helped you guys. As I said before, if you have any questions in terms of like what should I buy, what should I sell, anything that I didn't cover, go ahead and ask me in the comments. But that's pretty much it. If I could say one thing, hold on to your gold. Okay, like I feel like I'm a conspiracy theorist right now. Hold on to your gold. Okay, I think that's going to be the best value going into the new expansion. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much all I got. Thanks for watching, and like, comment, subscribe.